So I had my first glitch in the 2024 Toyota RAV4 this morning, and I'm going to give you a little bit of an insight as to what it's like to have this thing, drive it, all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I jump in this morning. I'm going to go for a cruise. I'm going to make this video. But before I do that, I usually like to get out on the road, drive a little bit, you know, enjoy it a little bit. I go to turn on the radio. Actually, it was on, but there was no sound. So I turn the volume knob, nothing happens. It's weird. And then I push the button thinking, well, maybe it's really not on, I don't know. And nothing happens. So I wait a couple of seconds thinking maybe it's a satellite signal or something, because I have it on satellite. And the radio goes black, like shuts off, like, I don't know. And I think it's one of those reset things. Seems like a glitch to me, but I think maybe it's designed in the new radios, because I've experienced it for years with the Mopar radios. Every Jeep that I've had, every Ram that I've had, always does that at least once at some point, and then never does it again. In the Ram that I have, it even shut off the gauge cluster. Everything went dark. So a couple seconds, maybe 5 seconds later, the radio, I guess, boots back up. It's basically a computer anyway, right? So it comes back up and everything is fine. But just one of those weird little things that seems to happen in new vehicles these days. I don't think it's a problem. We shall see. I will definitely let you guys know if it happens again. Now, as far as the RAV4 itself, gotta say, love the vehicle. It's fun to drive, strangely. I mean, I know it's an SUV, right? Like a mini SUV, although they have grown in size. The RAV4 is, I think, a lot bigger than it used to be, at least for when they first caught my eye, which isn't a bad thing. I mean, there's more space in here. You know, I've had people in the back, and they've told me that it's comfortable. There's plenty of room back there, and the rear seat backs go back a little bit. So if you want to get a little bit of recline in them, they do that. And that's nice, because one thing I've noticed in almost every rear seat SUV or truck that I've had is that they're too straight up and down. They're not comfortable. And neither are the seats, really. They're, for some reason, harder, it seems, or more firm than what you get in the front. Maybe the engineers are thinking you're going to have kids back there and the seats need to be, I guess, more robust so that they stand up to what kids do, you know? I don't know. It's always weird. But not so in the RAV4. Much more comfortable back there and much more roomy. Definitely more roomy than the Toyota Tacoma. A lot of people complain about that truck and that there's no space, the seats aren't comfortable. I've heard it many times from my rear passengers. Now, how's this thing doing from a fuel economy standpoint? You know, I think it's rated, if I remember, like 24 and 26 or 27, something like that. I could be off a little bit. But real world, and everything is still stock on here that would affect gas mileage anyway. I mean, I have the windows tinted. I put door sill protectors in. None of that affects fuel economy. I'm getting 26 or 23, I wish it was 26, 23.6 miles per gallon as an average. Now, obviously, this isn't broken in yet. It's got 228, just changed, miles on it. So there is a break-in period. And speaking of a break-in period, I did do a video about that. There is a suggested break-in period for the vehicle. I always try to follow that. You know, don't go one speed for very long. Try to go different speeds as you're driving. Don't jam on the brakes. You know, there are new brake linings. They need to break in. They need to seat. So you don't want to do anything. I guess the rule is extreme. Don't do anything extreme. Just be average when you're driving. For like the first, I think it's 600 miles is the longest any one of the break-in recommendations calls for. Visibility in here, you think it would be bad, right? I mean, you can see this pillar over here. Oh, I do have a complaint about this pillar, by the way, but not from a visibility standpoint. I can see everything out of here. It looks good. The backup camera is good. I can see enough to be able to do what I want to do. Rear view mirrors are all good. They're all big enough. Ever get in a vehicle that had mirrors that were too small? I have, and it's very annoying. Not in the RAV4. Everything is set up really nice as far as that goes. Now, a problem. I do have a bona fide problem. This pillar over here, something in it, and you may hear it in the video, I don't know, but something in it is rattling. Now, I thought about taking it apart, and I probably still will. I'm not sure yet. But it's a little more complicated because it has this adjustable height thing for the seat belt. You know, that thing that gets the shoulder strap right on your shoulder. So it's a little more complicated than just ripping off panels. But I may do it because stuff like that drives me nuts. Driving along and listening to a rattle. And of course, it has to be in this spot right beside my ear. So I can't help but hear it. Right now, yeah, I can hear it. While I'm talking, I can't. And if the radio's loud enough, I can't. But when I'm quiet, I can hear it rattling around. I don't know if it's the seatbelt mechanism. Doesn't seem to make a difference. So I think there's probably some little tiny piece of plastic, insulation, something like that inside the door panel. And I don't think it really has anything to do with the mechanism for the seatbelt itself, but it could. I'm not positive of that. That's really the only problem that I've noticed with the RAV4 so far. Fit and finish wise, everything in here is good. I haven't noticed any problems with anything like that. All the seams line up, all the materials look good, nothing's scratched or gouged or anything crazy like that. You know, I bought a Jeep Wrangler not too long ago, and I didn't notice when I was at the dealer, but there was a little gouge, big enough that you could see it without being picky, in the fender flare area. Probably would have said something about it while I was there, but it's not so bad that it drives me absolutely crazy. There's that rattle, speaking of driving me crazy. Overall, love the RAV4. It's everything that I hoped it would be. And the reason that I bought this primarily was to be able to haul more than just myself or two people comfortably. You know, I had a Toyota Prius, the new Prius before this, which I love, by the way. It's an awesome car, but it's small. And I gotta say, it's really probably only designed for a couple of front seat passengers. You can fit people in the back, but I had complaints about that. It was pretty tight, and sitting back there myself definitely was. No issues with that in the RAV4. One thing that I really like, and it's a crazy thing because it doesn't affect me at all, the back seat does have the flip down cup holder in it and armrest. Comes in handy for your passengers, and if you're stopping, maybe going through the drive-thru or something, they get something to drink. There's a convenient spot to put stuff. Something else that I don't have in the Toyota Tacoma in the rear seats. Anyway, I just wanted to get on, kind of give you guys a little more information as to how mine is doing so far. No issues, except that rattle. Leave a comment. Let me know if you've got a RAV4. How do you like it? What do you think of it? I'd just be curious. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.